Hello students, today in this video I shall continue discussing skeletal system for standard 9, and for the skeletal system it is video number 3. This is skeletal system video number 3 for class 9. In this we will discuss axial skeleton, and axial skeleton, a part of axial skeleton we will discuss in little bit of details. The outline already we have discussed in the flow chart in the previous video. This we will go and discuss a little bit details of that. Axial skeleton is a part of skeleton, consists of the skull, the vertebral column and the rib cage along with the sternum. Rib cage always associated with the sternum. Without sternum, rib cage will not form. So these three parts are there which form the axis of the body: the skull, vertebral column and rib cage with sternum. First of all, we pick up skull. It is the skeleton of the head, total head. It is the skeleton of that. It has got two basic parts: the cranium, brain box, which holds the brain inside, and the face bones, along with two associated set of bones. One set is ear bones that you have seen in the flow chart, and one is single bone, that is hyoid bone, you saw in the flow chart as well. Now this is, first we pick up the brain box or cranium. This is made up of 8 flat bones joined with each other by fixed and immovable joint called sutures. The brain box is actually a rounded hollow structure which is made by 8 bones joined in such a way that they are not moving and forming a complete hollow case or box inside which brain will stay. The joint should not move. If it moves, then you can understand brain is a delicate organ. What will happen to the brain? It should not move, and it does not move. Each bone at the edge of it is having the kind of a serrated margin, like the seesaw type of appearance at the edge, which is interlocked with each other in such a way that there is no chance of sliding or moving or anything. So because of that, it forms a kind of a line with zigzag line in the brain box. I will show you the picture later. This zigzag line and the joint that is made by this teethed surface edges of the flat bones are called sutures of the brain. Here it is, fixed and immovable joints called sutures of the brain. These zigzag lines that represent the interlocking system of the skull means brain box bones is called sutures. These bones make a large hollow cavity in which brain is located. That already I told you. On the back part of that cranium, back side, there is a large hole present called foramen magnum. Brain is having a connection with the whole body. For that reason, it has to have connection with the spinal cord. Spinal cord is maintaining the connection of the lower portion of the body. So this foramen magnum, or a large hole present at the back of our skull, is maintaining a connection with the brain and spinal cord. Through this hole, the spinal cord emerges from the lowermost part of the brain, known as medulla oblongata. In brain study, when you do, you will see that the lowermost part, which is becoming a conical and projected downward, which is continuous as spinal cord later. So this medulla oblongata continues as the spinal cord and coming out through foramen magnum. And after that, spinal cord, after emerging, continues through the neural canal of the vertebral column. Vertebral column is also arranged in such a way and is having a kind of a ring-like hole in each of them that forms a continuous passage through which the spinal cord passes. That we will discuss later. So this neural canal is formed by the vertebral column. by the vertebrae joined together. So this is the connection between the brain and the spinal cord, the foramen magnum. So these are the 8 bones making the cranium. The second part is the face, the facial part of it. This facial part contains 14 bones. These bones are also joined by immovable joints. Though the joints are not showing any sutures, but they are also joined in such a way that they do not move. And these are irregular shape of bones which automatically interlocks in between them, that gives a kind of a definite shape of our face. Joints, immovable joints, except in this in this facial bone, one bone is movable. That is the lower jaw, the mandible, because of which we can chew the food or talk or anything. We are able to move the lower jaw, and that is only because the mandibular bone is movable and articulated in such a way that it can go up and down, up and down. When we eat, chew, speak, and such kind of things, it is moving. Facial bones support, now other than this, facial bones support some sense organs, like you know that internal part of the ear, then the nose and nasal chamber, mouth and the palate backside of it. So a number of sense organs it support, that is mentioned. Facial bone support certain sense organs like nose and nasal chamber, ear capsule, etc. So these are the 14 facial bones. Other than this, there are ear ossicles. The ear ossicles, these are 6 in number. These are very small bones, 3 in each of the middle ear, each side of the ear. Inside the facial bone, there is a kind of a capsular format in which the internal ear structure is present. Inside that, the middle ear contains 3 tiny bones in each. 3 bones supported by skull bones. These 3 bones are malleus, they are commonly called hammer, incus, commonly called anvil, and stapes, commonly called stirrup. So these are the parts that is present in the head. One more part is there which is coming up next, is the hyoid bone. Let me show you the pictures which is clarify your idea about the brain box, face bones and ear ossicles. After that we continue this video with hyoid bone and some other parts. This is the skull viewed from the front. You all know the picture you have seen. Now you see the bones in the cranium. All the numbers and the names are written. Details of that is not required. The numbers will say you the total 8 bones of the skull, how it is in different color. Now it comes the facial bones. It is also given in the form of color. The purple color one is the mandibular bone which is moving, and the other bones form the face. See that zygomatic, prairie, nasal bone. Nasal bone supports this one. So these are the bones that form 14 facial bones. Now you see the sutures of the brain from a newborn baby, where the junctions are forming zigzag lines. Look at that. And that zigzag lines is not allowing the bones to move on each other. This is called sutures of the brain. And now you come here, the smallest bone of the body, this malleus incus stapes of the ear. At the center you can see the middle ear, there is malleus incus stapes, which will be enlarged, and I will show it. Now it comes the enlarged size of the malleus incus stapes. The first one on your left side is the malleus or hammer, middle one alveol, and the smallest bone of the body is stapes. These are the bones that you have just saw. So you saw the skull bones, facial bones, and the ear bones in the form of pictures also and description. I continue with that with the hyoid bone that is also included in the skull area, head area, that already I told you in the previous video, which is slightly off from the group. It is in the throat region. Here it is, axial skeleton continued. The hyoid bone is also present in the head, that makes the 29th bone of the skull. A single bone is included in the head, however. It is located at the throat region just above the voice box or larynx. This makes the 29th bone of the skull region, head region. The hyoid bone is present at the upper portion of the larynx to support the back portion of the tongue and the larynx. So that completes the bones of the head. The next part is the vertebral column. It is actually very complicated. The vertebral column, the structural forms of the vertebrae and all those we will see in this. But in this video, I will see the outline of the vertebral column. Let us see. Vertebral column. This is the main axis of the axial skeleton. This vertebral column making the main axis of our body. This main axial skeleton, it is about 70 centimeter in length. Total length is 70 centimeter. Though little bit slight, the valuation slightly varies with person to person, because some persons are quite taller in height. So there little bit changes occur. But approximate length is 70 centimeters. Curved to support. It is not straight like a post. It is curved. Is carved in such a way so that the organs present in our body and abdomen, it can support and keep the body erect. So it is curved to support the internal organs, but vertically erect in mid-posterior line. Remember, it is posterior line. Backbone is, that's why the name is backbone. So backbone is present in mid-posterior line, supports the whole physique of the body and the organs of the body. That's why it is slightly curved to hold them in position. The vertebral column is made out of 33 bones that you have studied from lower sections also. Total number of vertebrae in the vertebral column is 33. It is true. So 33 ring-like bones called vertebrae, singular vertebra. One bone that makes the column, one unit is called vertebra. It encloses a continuous cavity. Vertebral column not only gives the axis, not only supports the internal organs of the body cavities, but also supports the spinal cord, because by continuation it makes a continuous tunnel. This a continuous cavity called vertebral canal or neural canal that holds the spinal cord. It's starting from the neck after the foramen magnum coming from the head and till the end of the vertebral column. A continuous tunnel is made, and it is made by a ring-like space, ring-like opening, hole in each vertebra, which is joined end to end and forming a continuous tunnel. The spinal cord is located in that, protected and doing its function. The 33 vertebrae, these 33 vertebrae are as follows. If the total outline of all these 33 vertebrae is given here. But as I told you in the previous video, the total number we do not get as 33. We get 26. How it is? That is been shown here. The 33 vertebrae are divisible into 5 groups. First group is cervical or neck region. Neck, starting from just below the head up to the shoulder. Neck region, it is called cervical or cervical vertebrae. Total number of vertebrae is 7. Number 2, thoracic, means chest cavity. Thoracic vertebrae, it supports the chest cavity from the back. It is 12 of them. 12 of the vertebrae form the thoracic vertebrae. Lumbar vertebrae means upper abdominal region, just below the thoracic cavity, the back side of our body. That is called lumbar vertebrae. The number is 5. It is in upper abdominal region. Upper abdominal means back side of that is lumbar vertebrae. They are called lumbar vertebrae, 5 of them. Lower abdominal region is called sacral region. So sacral vertebrae, that is lower abdominal region, 5 vertebrae are there, but here is the mystery. These 5 vertebrae, that is sacral vertebrae, are joined in such a way that it forms a triangular bone and form one bone only, which is named as sacrum. Sacrum. 5 bones fuse to form one bone, that is named as sacrum. Since they are sacral vertebrae, so the name is also given sacrum. And finally, coccygeal, the tail region. Tail region, coccygeal vertebrae, they are 4 in number. Again, they are not separated. They are fused bone to form one bone only, that is called coccyx. So this 5 plus 4, that means 9. 9 bones are converted into 1 plus 1, 2 bones. So up to here if you add, it is 24. But then you have to add plus 2, 24 plus 2, 26. Total 33. But actually you are getting 26 bones in the vertebral column. So this is the outline of the vertebral column. Details of each of the vertebral vertebrae is slightly different in the neck region, thoracic region, lumbar region, etc. We will discuss in the next video. But before I complete this video, I will show you the vertebral column and the number of vertebrae present in it. Now you see the location of the vertebral column in our body and see how curved it is to support the body, and also the numbering given there, cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacrum and coccygeal is shown. This is the clean cut vision of the vertebral column. See, each vertebra is numbered C1, C2, C3, C4. Then in this way thoracic, then lumbar, sacral and coccygeal vertebrae is